Let's demonstrate a way to correctly tie into our figure 8 retrace every time, as well as understand why we tie it the way we do. Hello everyone, I'm Jason. It's spring. The weather is warming up. In the Northern Hemisphere, besides in the deserts already in full swing season, rock destinations are starting to open up. That means new climbers need to know the fundamentals. What could be more fundamental than tying into our harness with a figure 8 retrace knot? Let's demonstrate an efficient way to tie that knot. There are lots of ways to do it correctly, but we'll explain why we do it the way we do and go through our safety check after the knot is tied. First, we need to measure rope length. It's good to think about this in rope diameters. Let's start with a 9.5 millimeter single rope. For that diameter, I will stretch the end of the rope out 1 full arm length and then across my chest to about a fist width short of my armpit. For each ½ centimeter in diameter, I will alter my measurement another fist width, using less rope for narrower diameters and more rope for thicker diameters. You will have a different starting point with a 9.5 millimeter rope than I will due to body length differences, but you can find a standard starting point and then make those roughly fist width adjustments for skinnier or thicker ropes. Now, holding our measured point firmly, we will tie our starter knot by moving the end across in front, around and behind, back to the front, and through. So the free end is making a complete rotation around the standing end before passing through. If we only make it half the way around, we will get an overhand. Now, we run the free end through our top hard point and down through our bottom hard point, which has the rope fighting gravity a little, which is the downside. The hard points are specifically reinforced to take the abrasion of the rope rubbing against them. By running the hard points in this order, though, if we make a mistake and only connect to one hard point, we will have the safer one, the waist point, tied. If just the legs are tied, we have connected below our center of gravity and could flip upside down when we fall. Next, we want to pull our starter knot tightly into our harness because we will introduce more slack when we tighten the knot. Eventually, we want our connecting loop to be about the circumference of our fist. Too big and it can get in the way, even risking us clipping it by accident. Too small and our hard points get pinched, and sometimes the rope cannot rotate freely during a fall. Now we ensure our starter knot has the strand going through the hard points on bottom of the loop of that starter, not above. If we threaded the hard points from bottom to top, though, we would want the opposite. From there, we begin our retrace at the narrow space, not the wide space of the loop. We want to trace the strand, but keeping the free end on bottom, not above the starter loops on both sides of the knot. Again, if we threaded our hard points from bottom to top, we want the opposite. Free end on top, not bottom, as we retrace. Now, we run the free end through the wide gap in the final loop. These 4 retracing nuances will keep us from having any unnecessary crosses, which weaken the knot, and keeps us from having the load strand on the outside of the knot, which constricts the knot when loading, making it harder to untie. Now, we want to tighten the knot by pulling on each of the 4 strands in combination. Tail in one hand, we pull on one strand of our connecting loop, and then the other. Now, we've switched to grab the load strand, and again, pull one strand of the connecting loop, and then the other. With the knot properly tensioned, we want to ensure we have the correct tail length, about 15 centimeters or 6 inches. Too much tail, and we have it in the way, and could potentially clip it by accident. Too little tail, and it could pull back through the knot. Which brings up if we need a stopper knot in the tail as a safety. We do not. The figure 8 retrace already requires 2 failures for the knot to fail. Should the tail pull through, which we can avoid by having the proper tail length, we still have a knot that is equally strong. Only with a second pull through would the entire knot fail. The knot is already backed up. If we have too short of tail, we should retie our knot. If we have a slightly long tail, we can add a stopper to shorten the tail so long as we can keep our stopper up against the original knot. If we put a stopper far away on a really long tail, if we had to clip near our harness, we could end up getting our knot stuck. Okay, so now we've tied our knot and it's time to check it. Is it through both hardpoints? Do we have roughly a fist circumference for the connection loop? Can we count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 strands coming into, within, and out of the knot, ensuring we didn't skip a retrace step? Are there no unnecessary crosses? Do we have roughly 15 centimeters of tail?
On belay. Climbing. I'm on.
What other climbing fundamentals do you make sure you do the same way every time? Tell us one of yours in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want to support us. For more information, you can go to our website at www.shortguysbetaworks.com. You can watch another knot-related video on how and why we use a cow's tail for low-angled terrain, or maybe check out our entire rock climbing safety series. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.